Welcome back, Self Fam, to your kettlebell workout. My name is Lee Jimenez.
And I'm Tiffany Ragazzino, and we're about to get into your kettlebell upper body workout.
In today's upper body workout, we'll be focusing on 45-second exercises with a 15-second transition. Make sure you have a clear, open, and safe space. Let's get started.
Today, we'll be working on our grip strength, our upper body joint mobility, and we're gonna be doing all of that while maintaining our core strength. Let's get after it.
So before we get into our 3 rounds of work, let's get into our warm-up. We're gonna turn to the side, giving you our side profile as we crawl it out to a plank position. Our exercises will only be 30 seconds. In 5, 4, 3, 2, let's go. Crawl it all the way out to your plank position and then bring it all the way back. So I want you to think about 3 things as we're crawling it out. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Make sure that at the top of your plank, your wrists are stacked underneath your elbows are stacked right underneath your shoulders. Really reach those arms up all the way up at the top and take your time. Continuously engaging your core. We've got less than 12 seconds left. We'll find ourselves in a tabletop position as we get into our tricep push-up in 4, 3, 2, and drop down to your knees. I want you to walk your hands 1 handprint further up and we come all the way down, hips and chest come down to the ground, and then press yourself up. So in this tricep push-up, I want you to imagine that your elbows are going towards the back of the room. Your thumb line is right underneath your chest. You got this. You have a straight line that's going from your chest all the way through the top of your knees. You got less than 15 seconds. How you doing, Tiffany?
My arms are fired up. They are warm. They are toasty.
So good. Now we're gonna get into some thread the needles, finding our tabletop position in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just walk those hands back. Make sure your knees are underneath your hips, hands are underneath your shoulders. Take a big inhale, bring your right arm up towards the sky. And as you exhale, thread it through and under. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, arm comes up. Exhale, thread it through. Again, inhale, bring it up. Maybe on this one, see if your shoulder can come all the way down to your mat. Bring it all the way up 1 more time. Thread it through, reach towards us. And then gently release, come back to that tabletop. Let's do the opposite side. Inhale, left arm comes up towards the sky. Exhale as you thread it through and under that right arm. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, thread it through. We're really trying to get some good rotations throughout our thoracic spine. Reach all the way up. Exhale, see if your shoulder can touch the mat. Inhale, bring it up 1 last time. As you exhale, thread it through as far as you can reach, and then bring it back to that tabletop. Let's do those movements 1 more time, starting with that tricep push-up. Walk your hands out a little bit further. We come down in 3, 2, and chest and hips come down. Press yourself up. I want you to feel that you're pressing through all 10 of your knuckles. Spread the fingers as wide apart as you can. Really claim your space. Oftentimes when we do push-ups, we don't spread our fingers apart enough, and so we feel it too much in our wrists or in the base of our palm. We've got another 10. We're coming up into that high plank position. Get ready to crawl it back. In 5, 4, 3, 2, tuck the toes, lift yourself up. Let's crawl it back. At the very top, extend those arms up towards the sky. This is it. It's our last 30 seconds of our warm-up. All the way back. Take your time. Bring yourself back to your breathing to keep your nervous system calm. Today is a strength day, so there's no reason for us to get our heart rate up too high. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Finish that rep. Reach up, and shake it out. So good. Woo. So we have our 4 exercises, 45 seconds each. Round number 1, let's just learn the movements. In round number 2, we'll take it a little bit further. And then in round number 3, we'll just set our workout on fire. Tiffany, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So here we are in our first block of work, starting with our kettlebell halos. Let's grab onto a moderate kettlebell. So you have 2 options as far as holding onto your kettlebell. Option number 1 is that you can place your hands along the base of your kettlebell. Option number 2, flip that kettlebell bottoms up, holding onto the horns, and then we'll place it right onto our hip. I want you to imagine that we're making a ribbon shape. So bring it across and over your opposite shoulder, behind the neck, and then tap down to the opposite hip. Here we go in 3, 2, let's go. Take a big inhale and exhale as you bring it to the opposite hip. So this is definitely an exercise, Tiffany, that if your hair isn't messed up by the end of this, you're not doing it right, okay? So let's make it get really, really close, keeping it nice and tight. Good. Just imagine that you're creating that ribbon shape and you're trying to really find expansion in your upper body. Good. We have less than 15 seconds. Take your time. This is one of my favorite movements to really get some shoulder mobility because we don't often move like this with a weight overhead, yeah? We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Bring it down. Ooh.
Love it.
We're getting good and juicy. Tiffany, take it away.
Oh, great. Feel nice and open now. So now we're gonna get into our curl to concentrate on these biceps. So if you wanna switch out your weight, grab something a little bit heavier, go for it. You wanna stay with the same weight?
I'm gonna stay with my weight.
Handle it. So you are going to hold either from the bell or the horns. It's up to you, whatever feels nice and comfy. I'm gonna hold mine like this, and we are going to curl all the way up and down. Good. So a couple cues I want you to think about is, are your shoulders rounded or are they back? So notice how Lee has his upper back engaged here. He's not rounding his shoulders like this. Beautiful. Yes. So that's one thing you want to think about because we're really trying to emphasize this upper back area. Good, you're doing great. Stay with it. How you feeling, Lee?
It feels really good. I want you guys to go and focus on your grip, okay? Let's really push our hands into that kettlebell as if you're trying to go and squeeze a ball right now. Whenever you're doing any type of bicep curls, I want you to think your forearms are involved, your wrist strength. So continue to squeeze in the entire time.
Another thing to think about is, where are your elbows? So notice our elbows are close to our body. They're not flaring out, and we're also not holding the bell in front of us like this, which is putting more emphasis on our shoulders instead of our biceps. Give me one more. And rest.
So we're starting our kettlebell stance for our second exercise. We have a clean to a press. So first, let's get into our kettlebell stance for this movement. You're gonna go and hinge from your hips and making sure that your feet are like the base of a triangle, and then the kettlebell itself is gonna be the tip of a triangle. We'll have Tiffany go and demonstrate from us. From here, notice that she has a nice long spine. Now she's gonna go and bring that kettlebell and she's gonna catch the base. That's her clean. Then she's gonna press up overhead, and that's her press. She'll bring it back to her chest, hands will come back to the handles, and she'll hinge again. One more time. Catch it at the base, elbows are in, press it up overhead, bring it back to your chest, and then hinge again. Let's get into it. Big exhale at the top. Bring those elbows in nice and tight, and really just take your time. How you doing, Tiffany?
Doing good. I love an upper body day, so I am feeling this. So something I like to think about when I do overhead is keeping my side arms close to my head so that I'm not going too wide and flaring out those elbows.
We're down to our last 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. One more exercise to go. Are you guys ready at home? I know we're ready, yeah?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So we are moving on to our single arm row. Lee's gonna be showing a modification on his knee. I will be showing one in an up position. So you're gonna have one foot lunging forward, the other one lunging back, or you're gonna be following Lee, one knee down, one leg up. So we are gonna have the weight in one hand. Think about squaring off your shoulders. So we're gonna be avoiding this motion, no lawnmower action here. And we're gonna stay on this side. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Good. So for this one, if you want some extra support, you can put a hand on your quad, just like so. If you feel like you are pretty stable, you can let one arm kind of float to the side. For a little extra core engagement, do what feels good for you. Lee is showing you an awesome modification. How does that feel, Lee?
It feels really good. I'm able to focus on the upper body movement rather than trying to focus on like my lumbar spine or even my shoulders, making sure that I'm staying forward towards 1, maybe even 2 o'clock the entire time.
Good, couple more reps, stay with it. One more, and rest. Awesome job.
So we have our very first round that we knocked out those 4 movements. This was more of an introductory for your body to understand where you're at today and where we'd like to get your body today. So in round number 2, I want us to take it even further. And if you notice, when we did those single arm rows, we only did one side. So on the second round, we'll do the other side. Have a sip of water, do what you need to do, and let's jump into that second round. Tiffany, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Amazing. So exercise number 1, we're getting into it with those halos. Again, you have the option to go and do it bottoms up, or you can go and grab it by the bell. Let's start with the opposite hip from last time this time. Remember, we're making a ribbon shape, bringing it over to the opposite shoulder. In 5, in 4, in 3, in 2, let's go. Bring it over that shoulder, behind your neckline, and then we tap the opposite hip. Can we make it even closer, even tighter this time? If you didn't mess up your hair on the first round, this is your opportunity to get a little bit messy. If a workout isn't messy, is it a good one?
No, I mean, those buns should be falling out right now. Yes, messy buns.
We're down to our last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, keep it tight. 4, 3, 2, and finish that rep and rest. Woo.
Love it.
Nice and open. I think that's my favorite
good.
one. Yeah.
Now we're gonna get into that curl for the second time. So if you chose a different weight, go ahead and grab it. You wanna stick with the same one, do you? So go ahead and grab that kettlebell. Arms coming down. Let's work those biceps. Here we go. Good. So just like in that first round, notice how Lee is engaging that upper back. He's not letting those shoulders round or hunch forward. He's keeping everything super upright.
Let's also focus on our grip strength. Just like I said before, we're squeezing the base of that bell, or even if you're holding onto the horns, I want you to really hold onto it tightly. We need to activate our wrists, our forearms to continuously support the work that we're doing for our biceps right now.
All right, we're down to our final 10 seconds. We got that. We're getting that pump in. I mean,
we're trying to get jacked over
here.
4, 3, 2, and rest.
Yes. Awesome job, team. What's next?
So we had our halos. We went and just focused on our biceps. So now let's get that mobility work for that overhead press. It's super important that we stack everything. So don't allow your arms to come forward. Also try not to hyperextend back. If you need to, you can create a little kickstand for your lower back, or even separate those feet and kind of sit into it. Think that your tailbone isn't going back. You're scooping forward and lifting through the rib cage. Can we do that at home? You ready, Tiffany? Here we go. We find that hinge position. In 4, in 3, in 2, let's go. We catch the bell, we press it up overhead, back to our chest, and bring it back down. Good. Find what works for you. Remember what I said about your tailbone. We're scooping it forward. We're not pushing it back. Core is engaged the entire time. And really try to get that kettlebell right overhead so that you're stacking your joints on top of each other. I love kettlebell work because it's just a great way to get mobility and to really stabilize.
So good. I feel like it's definitely one of the equipment tools that just keep you like in line, your joints, the stability. It's awesome.
If you're looking for a fountain of youth at home, this is it. This is the movement. We got 10 seconds. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. One more move. You got this.
Let's do it. Now we're gonna move into that final exercise of round 2. We're going to those single arm rows. Lee's gonna be in this modification on his knee. Feel free to take this position if this is where you feel more comfortable. I'm gonna be having one leg back, gonna be hinging forward. I'm gonna grab my kettlebell and let's get rowing. Here we go. Now, decide where you feel comfy with this arm. I'm gonna have my arm right here on my quad. If you feel more comfortable with it out, that requires a little more balance and stability with that arm out. So choose whatever feels good for you. Really thinking about keeping those shoulders square to the mat. You're doing so great. We're almost there. How you doing, Lee?
I'm doing really good. Continuously focusing on just trying to keep a straight line from the bottom of that kettlebell all the way through the top of my shoulder. I'm always thinking that my elbow is trying to go and touch the ceiling above me.
Give me about 2 more reps. 1, 2. Awesome job, team.
Woo, 2 rounds, 2 rounds.
Are you feeling strong yet? I'm feeling strong.
So in round number 1, like we said, it was just an opportunity for your body to get to know the movements. In round number 2, we took things a little bit further. And so in round number 3, we just want you to own it, okay? Whatever it is that's going on up here, let's just turn down the volume on doubt and let's turn the volume up on yes, I can. Can you do it? Can we do it?
Yes, I'm into it. Let's do it.
Let's make it happen. Here we go. We're starting with that very first exercise. Let's go ahead and take that kettlebell, however it is that you'd like, whether it's bottoms up or holding onto the base. We got those halos one more round. In 3, in 2, let's go. Create that ribbon, making sure that you're touching opposite hip, going over opposite shoulder. And this is your last chance. Let's mess up that hair, yeah? And let's not be afraid to really open up. How you feeling, Tiffany?
Good. One thing I want to say is it's normal to hear a little bit of a snap, crackle, pop. I just heard a few little cracks in my upper back.
For sure. All that means is that you're just increasing your range of motion. We're down to our last 10. Stay in it. You've got this. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest.
Nice.
Shake it out, let it go. Maybe a few shoulder rolls back, a few shoulder rolls forward. We like to have a good time. We hope that you're having a good time at home. So now that we're nice and opened up, let's move into our next exercise with that bicep curl.
So if any of you want to switch out your weights, I'm going to switch mine out. This is our last opportunity to get these bicep curls working.
Tiffany, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to regret this. You guys see me going for this heavier weight? Let's do it. Last round, why not?
Here we go, and let's lift. Good. Now let's put all those things that we said together in the first couple exercises. We're keeping those shoulders back. We're engaging right between those shoulder blades, no rounding, standing up tall, squeezing our glutes, activating our core. How are you feeling?
Really, really good. And remember what we said about that stance. It's okay to create a kickstand if you feel that you're hyperextending through your lower back. It's also okay to have a slight bend into the knees, sit into it, and push those hips forward and lift from your rib cage. We're almost there. Maintaining that strong core the entire time.
All right, let's finish strong here. We've got about 5 more seconds. Here we go. Get a few more reps in. 1 more. And awesome. Great work.
So increasing that load definitely made us go and focus more on stabilizing through our core. Let's not be afraid to go and intensify the workout and to progress. Staying in your comfort zone doesn't bring any change, so let's get a little bit uncomfortable. We're ready for that next exercise?
Let's spice it up.
Here we go.
To it.
I'm gonna stay with my heavier weight. Maybe you will too. So we're getting into that kettlebell stance position. In 4, in 3, in 2, let's go. We clean it, press it up overhead, back to your chest, hands onto the handlebars. Reach up, bring it back. Make sure that you're really squeezing the base of that bell and take your time. Think about all the things that we've talked about, from focusing on your core engagement, even activating your glutes as you grab onto that bell from its base. We're almost there, halfway point. Notice how Tiffany is always bringing that bell to her chest. She's keeping her elbows forward the entire time. So don't think about flaring your elbows out. Think about really connecting them forward. You got 10 seconds, Tiffany. Focus on that breathing. And she's always stacking her joints right on top of each other. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finish that rep.
All right, now we're on our last movement.
Last movement. So we'll do half of it on one side and then we'll switch to the other. Tiffany, you pick where we start.
Let's do this side. Why not? Why not?
Why not?
So decide if you want to do that modification on the knee. Lee is going to show us that one just so you have a model to follow, an example. I'm going to be in this position again. Remember, we're not on a tightrope. This is a little unstable. So think of more of that train track position. I'm going to hinge over. I'm going to grab my bell. And here we go.
Last round is the best round, team.
Let's make it spicy. Increase that range of motion. So if you are not pulling all the way up, try to get a little more extension in that pull while maintaining those shoulder points facing the floor. Awesome job. Get ready to switch. All right, for the transition, I'm just going to stand up, pivot my feet, get into that position, and now we're gonna take it to the other side. Here we go.
So if you are on your knee or you're even upright, almost imagine that you're reaching towards the top of your toe and then you're bringing it back. So it's almost like you're on an angle as you're reaching out and away, and then you're retracting back as much as you can. We've got less than 12 seconds.
We got this, team. Stay strong.
Stay nice and tight and strong with your grip for 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest.
Yes.
You did so good.
Feeling strong.
You did so good.
Yes,
so
can we get a
good.
flex? Like, can you give us a flex at home?
They'll send us a sweaty selfie, yeah?
Do it.
So good.
All right, let's go ahead and clear the mat so we can have some room for our cool down. All right, let's start with some shoulder rolls, going back. Try to get those shoulders all the way up like they're trying to touch your ears, and then all the way down. Good, and reverse.
So when I bring them forward, this is where I click, right?
I
Do you
have
click?
some clicking
Which
legit in
direction do
my
you
right
click more?
shoulder. I mean, it's normal, it happens, but this is why this kind of training is so awesome. Big shoulder opener here, nice big circles. Good, and while you're doing this, I want you to think about also not arching that back. So even though we're rounding, we're trying not to arch in our back, keep everything, that little pelvic tilt, good. And let's reverse. Awesome.
Remember to breathe and not hold in your breath.
All right, let's get some wrist rotations in. We're gonna do 3 each direction. May hear some clicking here too. And then reverse. Good job, team. So let's bring one arm across the body for a stretch. Do you love upper body days?
I really love upper body days because it lets me focus on one muscle group rather than everything being a full body workout. If you really want to improve on something, let's just focus and refine.
And switch. I used to love leg day, and upper body has become my favorite time to train now. I love me an upper body workout. Good, and release. Let's go ahead and interlace those fingers behind and let's open up that chest. Good. If you are feeling a little extra and you want to hinge forward, go for it.
She said extra and she looked at me, guys. You see that?
Love it. Make sure you're breathing. And go ahead and release those arms and let's slowly roll it on up. Good job, team. You're done.
You did great. You did a great job. You did an amazing job.
You did an awesome job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us for your upper body kettlebell workout. My name is Lee Jimenez.
I'm Tiffany Ragazzino, and thanks for working out with us.
Take care.